Morning, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to the Love and Relationship Podcast. We don't need to introduce ourselves. We've been doing this for 6 months as of today because today's December 1st. We are going to set up a celebration day to celebrate with you guys our 6 months. We're really happy to have you guys with us along on this journey. We really appreciate every single one of you that subscribes, engages with us, because it's you guys that help us um, and make us want to do what we do. So, we're always looking at new ways to add value to you guys. 100%. So, the best way for you guys to help us is please like, share, subscribe. We also post this in other groups as well, of people that have liked our content. So again, we're just here to bring massive amounts of value to the space. As I said, we're not always going to be right on everything. We're just here to add value to the space. Is there anything you want to add, Anthea?
Well, exactly what you just said. It's nice to have the support. It's nice to have people comment and hear us and actually ask questions. If you need any questions, we're here to bring a conversation to the table, to be able to highlight things within love and relationships. And we love doing it. Like we said, we're now showing up 3 times a week because it's what we enjoy doing. It's what we love doing. We love having the conversation. And if we can help people out there, then that's what we're here to do. We've had our own experiences, as you guys all know, and we've learned a lot from those experiences and carrying that wisdom forward. So being able to put that out to you guys is something that we are really proud of and really enjoy. So yes, please like, subscribe and share and let people know that we're here, and get the word out there.
Yes, and do us a favor, guys. No more ninja watching, okay? You know what I mean? What ninja watching is you watch from the shadows, but you don't engage. Engage, guys. You know what I mean? Because again, the more that you engage with us, the more we will engage with you. You know what I mean? It's a
Absolutely.
trade off, right? It's not just, we do our part and you just kind of sit there like an owl, turning your head like, ooh, ooh, ooh. I wish I had an owl nose, but yeah, you know what I mean, guys.
You've done
No
it quite
more
well,
ninja.
Michael.
No more ninja watching, dudes and gals. You know what I mean? Um,
Excellent.
but no, we're actually going to jump into today's topic today. We won't be sharing a video, but we feel that this topic is very important to both of us. And what we're going to do is come up with different ingredients, and then we're going to bake a cake out of it. And then hopefully you guys, take something away from it. So we're going to talk about wants and needs and how they are different. So with this one, I want to do it a little differently because usually I go off on a tangent. I want Anthea to. We're going to give you the woman's point of view, and then we're going to give you the man's point of view on how different needs or wants are. So you break down to you and to our audience of what needs are and what wants are.
I think, first of all, a need is something like a woman, I would say, as a woman, a need is, I want, you need to have security in a relationship. I think that's really important. I think if you don't, like you start dating or you start seeing somebody and you haven't actually put that thing on you yet, well, that can create a lot of a thought process and an emotion that can go all over the place, because a woman will naturally go to the worst situation that's happening. Like if he hasn't called, or if somebody hasn't stated, if you haven't stated in a relationship that you are dating your boyfriend and girlfriend, and he hasn't come to you and said, listen, I want to be with you and you are my woman and we're walking forward together, then if that hasn't happened, then it's lack of security. You start to feel, you don't know if you're not with them. It could be that they're going out doing other things, they're meeting other women, and it makes you feel insecure. So I think it's so important, and a need, that you need to feel secure in a relationship. Because if you're not feeling that security, you will end up feeling so insecure that it could actually, like, before it even begins, break the relationship down. Do you want to add anything to that, Michael?
Yes, I'm
So
going to add
that's
actually a
one
lot
point.
to it. I'm actually going to add a lot to it. See, what I want you guys to understand is when you date somebody or when you're dealing with friends, this goes for both, you need to understand you. I'm going to start there. You need to understand what you need from your friendships and relationships and what you want. Now, the difference between the two, and this is where we're going to get into it. Like, let's say in a friendship, we'll go from friendship and then we'll go to relationship, right? Let's say in a friendship, right? You need loyalty, right? So, like, it depends on the person. For some people, loyalty will fall in the need category. Like, they need it. Like, but like, want is like, how do I put this? Like, let's say I want ice cream, right? But I need air. Without
Yeah,
air, I cannot live. So in
absolutely.
your friendships, let's say you need loyalty, it means like if there's not loyalty in this friendship, it's not working.
Yeah, let's say that's what I mean with security. If
Yeah.
a woman will need security. It's not that she
Mhm.
wants it, like you said. Wanting an ice cream or wanting security is one thing, but you actually need to feel that security. And yes, you can do, like, in personal development, or like in when you're working on yourself. We always say you have to feel that in yourself first. You have to feel secure in yourself first, and I completely agree with that. But I also feel you do need it in a relationship, because otherwise you're just gonna, it's like getting in, like I say before, you get into the car, you've got a sat nav, you need your sat nav to go somewhere, but if you don't turn it on and you don't know your destination, then where you going, you're going to be confused the whole way. And the same with getting to know someone, you're going to sit in confusion rather than clarity, and we want to create clarity here. So I really feel that security is something that a woman needs and not something she wants.
I agree with that. So what I'm gonna say, okay, so we're gonna break down multiple examples so you guys understand the differences. So loyalty is one of them, but let's flip it to a relationship side of things, right? Let's say you get into a relationship with somebody, right? We're gonna use different ones, right? So let's say, for example, you're dating someone and you guys establish that you guys are gonna go there. Let's say you say, hey, I need to see you 3 times a week. Like it's like if we're not seeing each other on a regular basis, it doesn't work for me.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But let's say like you say I want to see you, then like let's say you see them like once a week. Then it's like okay, like it's not the difference between needs and wants is one you can't live without and one you can. And that's the underlying difference between the two. So what I usually tell people is it's based off of the individual and where they stand. Everyone's gonna have different needs. Like Anthea has different wants and needs compared to me. You know, her what she wants in friendships, like let's say like who she interacts with on a regular basis, might be very different than what I want and need. So that's why I said it's very personal, but understand what your needs are. So like the reason why I think needs are so important over wants, because one is just like, yeah, I want ice cream. But it's like I need, like this is just me personally. I need, like, for example, one of my favorite dishes is pumpkin pie. I need that. During Christmas holidays, Mike needs that. If it's not there, I'm like, where is it?
But does that need to be from your woman, or can that just be a general thing that
It
comes
could be
around?
it could be a general thing, and that's the thing. Like, okay, I'll give you an example from a woman. Like what Mike needs from a woman. I need a woman that's feminine. That's what I need.
Yeah.
It's non-negotiable for
And
me
that's a really good point. That's a really good point,
because
actually.
I'm not gonna deal with somebody because life's already difficult as it is. I'm looking for somebody to deal with the difficultness with. So like when I'm in a relationship with them, difficult times are going to come. It's non like it's gonna happen. But how can we deal with them together?
Mm.
Because I don't want to deal with somebody that's combative. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to
Yes.
deal with somebody that's very aggressive. Put it this way, Mike needs somebody that leads with femininity,
Yeah.
not
That makes
masculine
sense.
energy,
No, not
leads with
masculine.
femininity. And
No,
what I
because
mean is, go ahead.
I was going to say it bounces off of it one another, doesn't it? Because if you, like you said, if you're masculine, you want a woman who's feminine. There's going to be problems coming along, and if your woman is then portraying a masculine energy within those problems, you're going to be hitting heads because it's two men now dealing with something
Mm-hmm.
rather than a man and a woman, right? So,
Yes.
and I think that's the same flipping round. Like I know I had an experience of recent where I needed the person in my life to be to show his more feminine side, and I needed that in that moment. Not that I realized that in that moment, it was just that that was what happened. And he comforted me. He told me it was going to be okay. He hugged me and told me everything's good. So that was the feminine side coming out, which to me I loved and appreciated and I needed in that moment. But had he been that pure masculine that I feel I need in a relationship, and he just said, well, you just got to get over it, it's all right, don't worry about it, mate, just come on, let's just, what's the problem? Then I would have been like, whoa, that would have made me run, because that's not what I need in my relationship. If I'm not feeling great, I need my man to be there for me as my friend too, right?
So that's stoicness. Yeah. So you need a rock.
Mm.
But you see, that's going to tie into what we're going to talk about when we have our special guest Sean on. That's what we're going to talk about: selective
Masculine.
masculinity, 100%. See, I think a lot of times the reason why a lot of relationships crash and burn, they don't establish what they want versus needs. So it's like, let's say, for example, you're dating a woman and she tells you, hey, like, I want to go to the movies, right? But she tells you, hey, I need somebody that's a traveler. At some point, we need to be traveling. Like, she needs that to feel fulfilled in the relationship.
Or in general, I think,
Or
because
in general, but I
in
just use like the
general, yeah,
traveling thing like as an
yeah,
example because like when I look at somebody like yourself, you need a traveler
I
because
do.
like in our previous podcast you've stated a 9 to 5 doesn't work for you. You need somebody that's like, hey, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go this, we're gonna speak, we're gonna do all these different things. You need that. That's a
Yeah.
requirement.
And to me, you're very right. That is a big need for me. If you're not willing to travel, then I'm not willing to be in that relationship, because in the relationship or not in the relationship, being single or not, I travel. I've traveled to many, many countries, probably 35 countries in my lifetime thus far. And I plan to do another maybe 50. I plan to do the whole world. So if my man is not wanting that in the relationship, then and needing that for his life, then it's not going to work, because I'm not prepared to go and travel by myself in a relationship. I need my partner to want to travel, and you're so on point there. And yeah, and that is a need.
That's why I pointed that out. Like, and that's why, like, as a person, you have to be able to break that down. You have to be able to explain that to an individual. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people, they'll meet someone and they have like no idea how to express their needs or wants. Like, they don't know how to do that. They're like, well, what if they run it? Because let's say, for example, you meet a girl and then you're a guy and you say, I need to have children. Like, it's part of like what you want. But the
Mm,
girl's just like, I want to have children. It's not a big burning desire for her.
mm. It
So
doesn't
that's
work.
what I'm trying to say. It might not work in that relationship because for you it's like a need. You like, I need to
Yeah.
have kids.
Yeah.
Or if we even flip it, the girl might tell you, hey, I need to have children.
Mm,
So it's like a requirement for her. So it's like
mm,
if you can't provide that within a window, or she can't get the inkling that you will be able to do it,
mm.
she's out.
For sure, because you have to meet that, and I think comes back to what you said at the beginning, Michael. You have to know your wants and needs from the off start, because, like you said, if you don't know them and you're going into a relationship, you're going in blindly, and you don't really know what you want, you don't know what you need, and then as you go along, you start expressing it because you find out, oh, actually, I went on. Let's say you went on a holiday together, and you're like, oh, I really, really enjoyed that. Then from that point onwards, it becomes a need, but your other half turned around and said, well, actually, it's not something that I want to do. Then but she wants to continue to travel and he doesn't. Then how does that stand? It
That's a good
won't
point.
play out really well, because one's going to be holding back their own needs, wants and desires to satisfy the other person, or vice versa. So if he decides to say, well, actually, I will come on holiday with you, but he goes with not with force, but with more like a guilt kind of standpoint, like he feels
Yeah, like
guilty.
makes you feel bad.
Yeah, it makes him feel bad. So he's like, well, I'm going to come. Then he goes along on the holiday, and guess what? They don't have fun, because
No.
it's that he's not there because he wants to, and it's not a need for him, and it's not a desire for him. He's doing it because he felt bad, he felt guilty, so he just went along. And then that's why it's so important to understand what you need. And you're so right. And then I think another one is, like, communication is something for me that I need to have communication. If you don't communicate with me, I know myself, and I know if you don't communicate with me, my mind will start going into a wonder and be like, what's going on? Is something else happening? Is he speaking with somebody else? Or
Well,
because
that's for female. What's the word I'm looking for? That's for female security, because the thing
yeah,
is,
it links into security. I was
yeah,
going to say,
because men are very direct, females are very passive.
yeah,
So in a relationship, the girl always needs to feel that security, because again, okay, you know what? That's a beautiful example. Let's use that. Some women in a relationship need constant validation through words, like words of affirmation or action.
or action.
So
That's right.
sometimes, like, a lot of guys will get frustrated, like, yo, why do you keep like needing me to tell you that you're beautiful all the time?
Mm,
It's a need for her. For it
yeah.
depends on the woman, but like for that woman, it might be like a need for her, because
Mm,
that's where she gets like her sense of like self worth with you.
for sure. Yeah, it could
And then,
be.
like
Yeah.
as Anthea said, like if, let's say, like for example, like Anthea just made a great point, which is going to help us. She needs the communication, but the communication, honestly, at the end of the day, it comes out to, in a relationship, she needs strong sense of validation.
Yeah, and I think it all leads into, it's like, if you're not communicating with someone, and that there's no, the communication isn't being reciprocated, and it's just one person. And let's say in my example, let's say for a woman to a man, and the
Mhm.
man isn't communicating back, right? It goes, like you said, we flip it back into, it intertwines with this, with security. And also, if a woman needs to speak what she needs to speak, she's not, again, going to feel secure to speak her mind and say what she wants and what she needs, because she's not, the communication isn't there. Therefore, the insecurity is kicking in. So the vulnerability then kicks in to say there's no vulnerability there because X, Y, and Z isn't being met, and that's through communication. So then she's then holding back, putting up barriers, putting up those feelings of like, I don't know how to say it, I don't know what to do, because she doesn't feel secure within the relationship. So I think that security opens up so many umbrellas, and helps that relationship become, maybe like you said, a rock, a
A
solid.
rock. Well, we're
Yeah,
supposed to be, as men, we're supposed to be the rock in the relationship, because, like, let's say, for example, Anthea gave a beautiful example. She was in a moment of vulnerability and she needed a rock. But let's say Anthea's vulnerable and the guy's vulnerable. Let's say Anthea's crying and the dude's like, "Oh my god!" She's like, "Hey, I need to rest on you. Like, what are
yeah,
you doing? Like, I need you to be the rock. I don't need you to cry with me. I need you to be with me."
yeah,
You
absolutely,
see, like that's
absolutely.
the diff.
And it is a
Um,
big difference.
because like if you're crying, you're looking at him and he crying with you. You're like, I need support right now. Like, I don't need you
Yeah.
to cry with me. I need you to be with me.
But I think there's also situations where it can be that the two will cry together. So let's
Oh,
say, yeah,
100%. But
yeah.
in your moment, like,
No, in
because
my
it was
moment,
your
no.
moment,
Yeah. Sorry.
that's different.
Yeah. That was different. That was, yeah,
But that's
very,
what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
at a wedding, you guys can cry together.
Yes.
That's a you moment. But I'm saying in your situation, it was a you moment just on
Yes.
your
It was
own.
just me by myself. And yeah. And, um, yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? But
But see, that's why I say that's how a lot of people get screwed over. Because look, and again, I can't wait for us to talk about this next Friday. Let's say you meet somebody, right? And your need right now, like let's say you're in a space. It all depends on what space you're in. You want a relationship. That's a need for you or a requirement right now in your life, right? You meet a woman or a man and they say, "Hey, I'm not in the space to give you that right now." Why would you continue to pursue that person?
you
They're
wouldn't.
never going to fulfill that need for you.
Mhm.
And I see a lot of people do that.
Mhm.
And that's how they get hurt because you need something right now. You're like, hey, I'm established in life. I got my finance. I got whatever going. I need a relationship. But then you're out there meeting people and networking and you see these people. And then what happens is let's say you get to know somebody and they're like, hey, I'm not ready for that space. Stop pursuing them. They're never going to fulfill that need. You might want them to in your heart of hearts. You might be like, oh man, it would be so nice to be with them. And, your mind starts to wander, but they've established that what they need right now is not that.
Hmm.
So any love that you give to them, it's going to be the hole in the bucket effect.
Okay.
You're going
Yeah.
to give it and the love's going to fall out the bucket.
Mm.
It's not going to be able to stay retained.
Mm.
So that's why, as I say, needs save you very well from not interacting with people that are not for you.
Yeah, because if you need a relationship and that person says, I'm not ready, one thing I want to say to you, ladies, don't think you're going to change their mind. It's not going to happen. Am I right to say that? Please,
Let's
Michael.
be honest. If we're going to talk about that a little bit, a lot of women think even sometime, well, if I give them some bedroom fun,
Yeah, then
it's
he's
going to
going to
change.
want to.
Trust me. Anthea said it. We've said it on the podcast. You might think that your bedroom fun is like cream of the crop, but it doesn't matter. If that's not what he needs, he'll take the goods.
Of course.
Like, come on. Like, he's not a fool. It's like if you put a T-bone steak in front of a dog, he's not gonna be like, well, I don't feel like eating this. He's gonna take it.
Even
But
if he's just eaten 10 of them, he'll still
yeah,
take it.
but it's not gonna get your need fulfilled because you want the relationship and he doesn't.
Believe someone when they tell you. When they
Mm.
tell you, yeah. And I think this is something that I've really learned. Like when someone has said that they're
Yeah,
not ready
believe
for a
them.
relationship, and I've just thought, and I've gone along with it, thinking to myself, yeah, well, you're just saying that because we haven't walked forward yet. You haven't got to know me yet. We haven't, like, we already get on so well. Like, I can't understand why you wouldn't. So I thought, yeah, by just going along with it, eventually they will say, yes, I want to be in a relationship with you. I wasted 3 years of my life. I'm not going to say I didn't waste it. No, that's not right. I did not waste it because I gained a lot of knowledge and wisdom, but I did, yeah, thinking that that's what I could do. Like, and it doesn't work. And you know what? But you know what was so refreshing to me to hear other people or other podcasters be able to say they've said the same, and hearing that clarity from yourself, Michael, from other people to say it's not going to work. It's like now I can firmly stand and say to other women, and I know I can say it, and know that I'm not like blocking anything for them or putting a brick wall up for them or anything. I am being the most truthful I could possibly be to say, do not walk forward, because he will not change his mind. He knows if he wants to be with you or not. He'll know. And if he's saying, I'm not ready for a relationship, it's because he's not ready for you. He doesn't want to be with you. And that's not a personal attack. It's not. It's just everyone has their wants and needs, shall we say. And if you're just not, there's something that's just not meeting on your side of things, or maybe he's just come out of a relationship and he's just like, I just don't want to do this at the moment, but you seem to have met, because I believe there's meeting people at the wrong time. Oh yeah.
I just say personally, leave them alone. Personally, if they don't want, see, look, I'm gonna drop some gems here. I wish I had like a gem dropping sound, but I don't. We're just gonna get this. I'm gonna say this: if somebody does not want what you want, move on.
Absolutely.
No, sorry. If someone doesn't need what you need, move on. There we go. If they don't need what you need, move on, man. Because that's why you're getting hurt. You're choosing people that aren't choosing you, but the principles, because that's what it comes down to. The principles are not aligned. Right? Like, for example, as I said, let's say you know what? We're going to break this shit down like crazy. Let's say, and again, I'll speak from a man's point of view. Let's say you need, so your want would be like, hey, I want a girl that's nice, feminine, sweet, all the funny stuff in the good bag. But let's say when it comes down to your principles, right? You want marriage, you want kids. Let's say you want like 3, and you want a world traveler. That's a need for you. Like, you will not function without a relationship if that stuff's not on the table, right? So at that point, now you've established that is your blueprint. So that would eliminate a lot of women, but then you would still be left with a lot of options as well, because a lot of women want marriage, kids, and all those other things. So it really depends. That's what I'm saying. That's why you have to figure out what your needs are, because it is going to eliminate a lot of suitors. And then what's left over is what you pick from.
And also, I want to add to that, it's very much, what's I going to say? I've gone blank. So, yeah, that's what I was going to say. If people have this fear that if they walk away because they're not going to meet their needs and their wants, and they're not going to find someone, and that is such a limiting belief. Like, there's somebody for everybody, and you will find somebody who's going to meet what you want and align with what you want. Well, it depends. I will disagree with that. Only if you're clear in yourself about what you want, and maybe it might be one of the things, and not like,
you know what? I love that you said that. See, I hate that statement. There's somebody out there for everybody. I hate that statement. I'm not like saying towards you, but I hate that statement and the sense of it gives hope to everybody when there's false hope.
No, there isn't false hope.
No, but I'm gonna say why. I'm gonna say
billion people on this planet.
No, but I'm gonna say why it gives false hope. If you are not the best person, how are you going to attract somebody? What I mean is, we all know relationships require certain principles, right? We know this. Like, it's underlying stuff, right? If you don't have those principles, no one's going to want to get in a relationship with you.
Well, you can't say that either.
No, but I'm saying, if you're a cheater, let's say, for example, you're a cheater, right? Why is somebody going to date you?
Because you might get with another cheater.
Oh, yeah, you might get with another cheater, but I'm talking about like the relationship staying sustainable and working.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But what I'm saying is there's someone for everyone. So no matter who you are and what you're about, you're just going to attract the same. If you
like from
you're going to attract the same alike to you. Now we're speaking on healthy relationships.
Like the person actually staying. Yeah, like the person actually.
Yeah. Okay, but look, we're speaking about on a positive note, love and relationships. good. But at the same time, you've got the people who have just, you've got the women and the men that can get together and both like to just be bums, let's say, together.
Yeah, exactly,
That's their
exactly.
wants and needs, Michael. That's what they want, and they don't care if one goes and sleeps with another, or they will have three.
That is
friends,
true.
yeah, so that's why I say there is someone for everyone, not necessarily on a positive note, because that person's might not be on a good track in life, but doesn't. I've seen many people who not to pass judgment to people, but where I've looked at them and thought, really?
Well, that's why we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, because
That's
it's
what I mean. You go, well, how did you get a person? How did you, honestly, like, how did you get someone in your life? Like, I'm looking at it like, wow. But then I have to appreciate and respect the fact that that's what they want. And that's what the other person, that couple wanted that from each other. They wanted someone's going to sit there and eat pizzas and McDonald's.
I love that. I love that you said
around.
this. I love that you said this. And the reason why, like, and again, I love it because, like, we with our podcast, everything is just so genuine and free flowing. The reason why I made the statement is there's somebody out there for everybody, right? And I'm going to speak from a man's point of view. If a woman's very promiscuous or she has a very promiscuous past, a lot of guys will have bedroom fun with her, but they might not commit. And that's the thing, right? She might not get picked. And the reason why I said that is because, like, you're right, there is somebody for everybody, but also, let's be honest, you also have a lot of single people out here, especially females that are single and 40 that can't find somebody because either their standards are too high and they don't want to adjust them. So because they haven't adjusted their standards and because they're not willing to make the changes, it makes them getting a partner very difficult.
I'm going to disagree with you there because I've been 40. I've hit the age of 40 and I was single. No, I wasn't. I become single.
I was single. Wait, I wasn't. Wait, what?
Yeah, no, I was single. Yes, I think I was single at 30.
I was single. I wasn't.
Right.
Maybe I was.
I think I was right. So I was about 39. Now, I know that after that relationship, I needed to take time out for myself. I wasn't actively looking. Yes, I did have guys who came to me and wanted to get with me, and I was not interested. Not because I didn't like them, not because I didn't see anything with them, because I just didn't want it. I wanted to work on myself. I wanted to understand, what do I want? What do I need? What do I want for this relationship? I've attracted crap relationships thus far. Like, now it's time for me to attract somebody who I really am gonna meet my wants and needs, somebody who I know wants to do the traveling, someone who I know wants to commit to me, someone who's going to bring security, someone who's going to communicate with me, somebody who's going to have patience with me. So when I do get, because I can get moody, I might be a really high flying girl, but at the same time I can get really moody and I can be like a bit of a, like,
well, I'm curious why you disagreed with me. I'm curious why you disagreed with me.
I disagree because you're saying that people who are 40, the reason why they're 40, I mean, the reason why they're single at 40 is because, sorry, what did you say? The reason why?
It's because their standards are too high.
Yeah, because their standards are too high. But I don't think that's true. I think it depends on each person again, because it wasn't my standards were too high. I wanted time out. So 40, 41, and 42, well, up until recent, I was single. So completely single. Now,
I'm going to say this, though.
My standards were high, Michael. That's because Anthea wanted time out for herself.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of women that actually want a relationship and can't get one. They actually cannot get one because of their level of pickiness. You see, the difference with you, and I'm not putting you on a pedestal, but the difference between you is you made certain adjustments.
Yes.
To get the guy you wanted. But that's what I'm saying. Those women are not willing to do that.
No.
You did. Not. That's the difference. Because on previous podcasts when we've spoken, you've openly said, hey, I was sometimes in a relationship, I was very masculine. Sometimes I was very this. But you see, as soon as you made those adjustments, you got the guy you wanted. And that's what I'm trying to say, that at that point, I'm not saying that women at 40 cannot find love, But what I'm saying is, if you make the necessary adjustments, you will get that guy a lot quicker compared to not making the adjustments. Because you could have sat there and said, well, I'm not budging, I'm staying this, blah, 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 blah. But
No,
then
I
you
had to
see,
recognize. I had to recognize in myself what I was doing and,
exactly. But then
and
you
how I was
see,
showing up.
that guy can't show up at that time because it's like, But as soon as you made some tweaks and you were like, it's not that my standards are high, I need to adjust some things because because you had to take the time to understand, what do men really want? What do they really need? And then when you took the time to step back and do that, you were able to attract what you wanted. But there had to be an adjustment, which is the catalyst to attract that individual there.
And the letting go of as well,
Yeah,
Michael.
and the letting go of, yeah.
And letting go of, because I think another thing that will hold you back from getting what you want is a resistance within yourself. And if you keep chanting out there, I can't find someone, I can't find someone, why are all the men so bad, and really putting it onto everybody else, or then you're not going to attract anybody, because just that talk in itself shows that you have not adjusted anything in yourself, because you're kind of doing that blame game, or saying, like you just said, it's that personal development in you. It's that understanding about you. And if you're chanting out there, I can't find someone, I can't find someone, then you need to go back to yourself and understand, why are you saying that to yourself? Because now you don't respect yourself. You don't see yourself as a good catch. You don't see yourself as somebody worth being around, because if you did, then you wouldn't be chanting that. You'd be like, well, actually, I'm ready. I've done the work in myself. I know what I want. I know what I want in a man, and I know what it's about. And you would work towards those things. And I know one of the things that I started to do was, like, I'd do meditations, and I would understand. Yeah, and I'd meditate on attracting my soulmate to me, and I would speak. The conversations I would have would be of how nice it's going to be when he comes to me. And I didn't doubt it. I didn't say, oh, I don't think he's going to ever come, or, oh, no, there's no one out there for me. No, I was very much in that knowing place, and I didn't know who it was. I had no idea. I just spent that time within me to understand I was ready. I woke up one day and I think I said to you, Michael, and I know I said to one of my business partners, I'm ready. And the second I said that, I think within 3 weeks, I attracted a message to me. So,
but it's interesting too, because you also made the adjustment,
and I made the adjustment
to attract
absolutely.
that individual,
yes,
to bring them there. That's the difference, right?
Yes,
because if you didn't make those adjustments and you would have gotten that person, it would have ended, because it just would have been the same relationship from the past, because you didn't change.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think that's the most important thing, because even for me, I've realized that with all the people I've talked to, there was even a girl I talked to, they dated, like, she dated this person, they broke up, and she still kept trying to get back with him. And I'm like, you're trying to force a relationship on him that you need, but he doesn't need it either. And I feel like that's where I'm like, that's where the disconnect is, because again, we've spoke about it previously. That's a lack of love, a lack of, self-worth. But it's like, don't try to force somebody to not want what you want. If they don't want a relationship and they're like, hey, I want this, or for example, I'll use myself, man. Like, I'll have someone, hey, I just want to be friends. Sorry, I really appreciate your gesture. That's great. But that's not what I need right now. That's not what I want. That's not what I want.
Right.
And that's the thing. That's not what I want right now. So I'm sorry, I have to decline your offer. Do some people get mad? Hey, that's really mean of you. I've had one person tell me, hey, well, I need to take things slow to, be in a relationship. I'm like, that's fine. But clearly you're not ready, because I know that there were Chads and Tyrones and you didn't make them wait.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that that's what I mean. Like, girls don't understand that guys know that there were guys in your past, Chads, Tyrones, Tyrells, Jeff from accounting. You didn't make him wait.
No.
You said, damn, Jeff.
And I think, but you've made a really, really good point there, Michael. If somebody is not interested in you, stop trying to
That's
pursue
rough.
them. Like,
Yeah, you're
what are you
wasting your
doing?
time
You're
and
wasting your
energy, and
time.
then you're
Yes,
blocking your
yes,
blessing from someone else, like the
yes,
right person coming in your life.
yes,
And that's why I said that women need to be very aware that like guys, like us guys, know that there were guys in your past, because women don't understand. Well, when they tell you an answer of, hey, I need to take things slow or whatever, whatever. And in a guy's mind, we know, well, you didn't take it slow with Jeff from accounting.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
girls, when they like a guy, they don't put him in the friend zone. They don't do that. They say, I want to be with you.
Yes.
Because it wouldn't make sense for you to take a guy that you like to put him in the friend zone. No, you
No,
want to be with him.
yeah,
So,
and if you're going to put them in the friend zone, that again, what's the point? If you're
yeah,
looking
what's the
and you
point?
want and you need a relationship, why I would like I'm at a point in, let's say now where I am in my life, and a man comes along and he says, "Oh, you know what? I know we went out. Let's say I went out for something to eat with friends, and we
Mhm.
got talking. I got talking to a guy, and he says, "Ah, you know, I'd love to be your friend." Um, I would straight away be like, I've got enough friends, thank you. No
There
disrespect
you
to you, but
go. I
my
love that.
yeah, and
Oh,
I maybe I'd say my friend was saying the other day she would love a male friend. So go and speak to my friend, but I'm not me because I don't want any male friends. I'm done with male friends
not
because
because it
I
doesn't make
know,
sense, because it
yeah,
doesn't fit a person's need. Now, if a
yeah,
guy and a girl want that together, then
yes,
it's
that's different.
okay. But
Yes,
I'm just saying, in my situation, I did not want that.
no, and that was
I was
your
like,
want,
I don't
your
what you're
need.
offering. I don't want. I'm looking to build. Like, I don't want what you want. And a lot of times, and we're going to talk about it next Friday because we're going to get fired up for it. Is people are shamed for that. When you tell someone, "Hey, I don't want your friendship," oh, my friendship's not good enough. I need to take it slow. I need this, this, and this. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. I know in the back of my mind that there's been guys in the past that you just jumped on them like a T-bone steak to be with them.
Mm,
Clearly, you don't like me like that. That's okay.
yeah, no,
I'm
no
I'm
offense taken, right, Michael? No
yeah,
offense
no offense
taken.
taken. I'm
Just
gonna
because
get
we're
things
old
going.
enough to take it, we can take that at the end of the day. And I think everyone should be able to be in that situation. Not everyone. I mean, like, I think that's what you need to work towards, to know that you can be in that situation where
And say
somebody,
no.
yeah, if somebody, like, say the guy that I see turns around and says to me, you know what, actually, I just want to be friends with you. And I'd say to him, well, that's not what I want. So just me, my love. That'll be done
I
because
love that. Just block me, buddy. Just
just
block me,
block
man.
me because
I love that.
what
Anthea is pretty much just, and I like this because the guy is saying, "Hey, I just want to be friends," and Anthea is saying, "Nope." Like, it
no,
doesn't make sense for me.
I don't want a friend. That's not what I'm looking for. I want a relationship. So if you want to be my friend, then I can point you in loads of different women's
Yeah,
direction that
exactly.
would
Go
like you
point
to
you
be their
towards
friend. Go
some,
be
like,
friends.
yeah, like, go point you
Yeah,
to some other
me though.
groups of people that want what you want.
Yeah, I'll even help
Um,
you. I'll even put
yeah,
some names
exactly.
your
I'll
way.
help.
It's
But
not
yeah,
me.
guys, hopefully you had a great time.
Oh,
Wednesdays and Fridays will be up on Spotify for you guys to go and listen to. We really appreciate you guys joining us today. There were a lot of people here today, actually. I didn't even get a chance to even look at the chat.
I
I
tried
see
to
it
look at
here.
the chat, but I didn't get
I
to
see
it.
it here now. Like, I'm like, yo, like, we were so in the zone. Like, when me and Anthea go, it's just go. Like,
Hey, I love it.
so yeah, no, like, I see it here. Adam, thank you for popping in. Thank you for loving the topic. You know what I mean? As we said,
Thank
at the end of
you.
the day, we like to talk about the uncomfortable truths because no one else will.
Yeah.
So look, guys, please like, subscribe. I can't even talk this morning. Help us, please, guys, help us get to at least 500 subscribers. That's
That'll
what
be
we're trying to do. As I said, we're gonna come up with more fine-tuned and more well-rounded topics. And I just wanted to say I really appreciate everybody that tuned in today. I really do. Without you guys,
thank you.
even if it's just one person and we see one person viewing, we see two, we see one, we see zero, we keep going because again, someone will pop in and it will be a day like, oh shit, I needed to hear that. So, excuse my language, but I appreciate it. So, I don't know if there's anything you want to say before we have to go, Miss Anthea.
I just want to say thank you so much for today again, Michael. Always a pleasure, always brilliant. Love getting together, love doing this podcast. Thank you, anyone who joined us. Thank you to Adam again for popping on and saying hi to us and appreciating our topics. And like Michael said, you know, we said the other day 1,000. Let's go to 500 first.
Yeah, let's
hit
go to 500 first, and then we'll go
Yeah.
to 1,000. So
Yeah.
again, thank everybody for tuning
Thank
in, and we
you.
will see you on Friday when we talk about love versus lust.
Hey.